Forza Horizon 4. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Dynamic seasons change everything in the world's greatest automotive festival. Go it alone or team up with others to explore beautiful and historic Britain. But don't forget your Stabfest if you go anywhere near fucking London. In a shared open world, collect, modify and drive over 450 cars. Race, stunt, create and explore. Choose your own path to become a Horizon superstar.
Yes guys, Forza Horizon 4 is here and there's a lot to tell you. I'm going to try and cram it all in so that you can get a good idea of what you'll get if you actually buy this game, because it's not a cheap game. The full game costs £79. That's for everything, which is bloody expensive, but you can buy part of the game for £50, which, you know, you don't get all the cars, so it's just like not the full game, it's just part of the game, which I think is a bit fucking shit, to be honest with you, but hey, that's the way it is these days. So what's it like? What's the game like? Well, it looks fantastic, as you can see. The graphics are just top draw, really. This is on a PC. It looks absolutely great. I don't know what it looks like on consoles. It'll probably still look good on the next gen consoles. So the graphics are fantastic. I have turned off the window reflections because that kind of got on me tits, but it wasn't turned off because it was lagging or anything like that. It runs really quick on a 1070 graphics card. Everything on pretty much ultra, no problems whatsoever. Sound wise, well, the engine sounds, most of them sound fantastic, but there are a few that just sound a bit lame, but the vast majority, I would say, sound really, really meaty, especially when you come off the gas and you can just hear the backfire of the exhaust. It's just, it just sounds so freaking meaty. Really good. The whole game is voiced by annoying little twats with a shitty script that'll just appeal to 3-year-olds, you know, the usual bullshit like we got in The Crew, but, you know, don't even worry about that. Music wise, well, that's pretty shit as well. You can't use your own custom music like you could in Test Drive Unlimited 2, and I'll not mention that game anymore because I know it upsets people. You can't switch the radio off, which I do, and I just put my own music on in a separate app, because the in-game music that you have on the radio stations is fucking rancid. It's all auto-tuned bullshit sang by some kind of female yodeler with duck lips and eyebrows so big it looks like a deformed fucking Groucho Marx. It's just awful music, which is exactly what music's like in real life today. You couldn't do a Live Aid concert today. You know, remember Live Aid when you had all them amazing groups on stage just playing this huge concert? You couldn't do that these days. All that we'd have on the stage is auto-tune machines. You wouldn't have any instruments because no fucker can play an instrument these days. It's all just bleh. So how does the game play? That's the main thing that you want to know. What's the actual gameplay like? Well, first of all, let's look at the control. Forza Horizon 4 supports wheel and pedal systems, quite a few of them. It supports mine, which is the T300 RS, and I have to say it is absolutely fucking awful, the control. I've tried everything. I've been on Reddit, I've been on the official forums. There is loads of sim racers trying to sort this out as well. People offering different setup suggestions to everybody, and none of them work at all. There is loads of videos of people trying to drive with wheels, and they're just all over the bloody place, and that's because you don't really get any real sense of feeling. I know it's an arcade game and not a sim racer. You know, we're not dealing with a Assetto Corsa here. We're dealing with an arcade racer that's built for consoles. So, you know, it's all over the place. It shouldn't be for the price, but it just is. When the car starts to oversteer, you're fucked, because trying to get it back without having to do some serious braking and clutch work is not going to happen. Whereas if you're playing with a controller, you can just, a simple flick of the thumb, you can fix that immediately. It's just ridiculous, the disparity between a controller and an actual steering wheel in this game. And so much so that I've actually had to play the entire game with a controller, which sucks because I don't want to use a controller. I want that immersion with a wheel. But hey, it just doesn't fucking work. They need to get the act together and sort this out because it needs fixing. The best I've actually got out of my wheel by adjusting the spring and the dampener is to get it so that I can actually drive the cars in cruise mode. So I can just, like, you know, go reasonably fast but not absolutely pedal to the metal. It's fine for cruising, but if I'm doing a race, I have to use a controller. The way progression works in Forza Horizon 4 is completely different to 3. What you do in 4 is you'll have a series of different races to do. There'll be dirt races, there'll be road races and things like that. And when you do that race, it doesn't matter where you come, whether it's first or last, you will be given a set amount of points based on where obviously your position that you came, how many driving aids you had on, what level of difficulty you have it on, and you will get kind of like XP, and you'll see a progress bar go up. You have to max out that progress bar, and then that unlocks the next race. And the races get, I don't know if they do get progressively harder, but the races unlock in that way, and then when you get to the final one, you get the like championship of that championship, and then you will be named the Grand Master if you actually win. The tracks are pretty good as well. There's some really good tracks to race on, and this is the big thing with seasons. The tracks are all different. I mean, in the summer you'll get the best grip, in the winter they'll all be covered in snow, in the autumn and spring you're going to get rain and shit like that. So every time you play, the track changes dynamically with the weather, which is really nice. The way the weather works in this game, you go through a tutorial kind of where you go through the seasons fast, but once you've kind of finished that tutorial, the game is connected to a server which syncs all the players to the same actual weather condition, and every 7 days the season will change. So if you don't like the snow, you're f***ed because you've got a whole week of the snow everywhere you go in this game. Luckily, you can make a custom event for other people to join, like a big cruise or something like that, and you can set the weather for what you want to your favourite. So you're not totally tied to the seasonal server. You can make whatever weather you want for a specific event. There's also hourly events in this game, which is really cool. Loads of content in this game, absolutely shitloads of it. As I said at the top of the video, there's 450 cars in this. That's 100 more than Forza Horizon 3. You can tune each one individually. You can get body kits for a lot of them as well, and you can buy add-ons to boost the engine power and things like that, as well as tuning the stuff such as brake bias, different tyres that you put on, the roll cage, and all the kind of stuff like that, which you will need to do if you want to win the races on the harder difficulty levels. It's all very well explained in the game, so it's not really a chore to do all this. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not hard to do at all. Another change from 3 is each car now has its own perk system, whereas in 3 you had a global perk system. Well, in this, every car has a little perk tree, and so when you find what car you really like to drive in, you want to obviously throw your perk points into that, because the perk points are really handy. They will help with combos when you're doing kind of tricks. They will help gain influence faster and credits faster. So obviously you want to be ploughing these kind of points into the car that you're going to be driving around the most, because you need that progression in the game to buy new cars, houses and stuff like that. Now the houses are a little bit of a disappointment. You don't have an avatar like you do in Test Drive Unlimited 2, where you can get out your car, go into your house and all that and buy furniture. There's none of that. The houses are pretty much boring in this game, and this is one of the big problems with this game. It's very unimmersive. You don't even have to stick to the roads. I mean, you can just drive any car across country, through the fields, smashing through walls, smashing through fences, jumping over rivers and everything, and all the time you're doing that, the game is feeding you lots of points and credits and reputation and all that. Oh, that was a nice combo you did there. Have more reputation.
Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
You even get houses for free. I did a bit of a 2-minute mission for a TV studio, being a stunt driver, and at the end of the mission he says, "Oh, we bought this house for the movie. Just have it. You can just have it. It's only worth about $1 million. So I've got this free fucking house."
You're not gonna believe this. The film producers bought this house to use as a set, but when filming wrapped, they just left it. I had a word, and you know what? They said you could have the house for free as a thank you for your work on the movie.
They have this lottery wheel that spins round, and then I won a Ferrari. It's like, what the fuck? I'm getting all this currency thrown at me, cars thrown at me, clothes thrown at me. You know, you have clothes for your on-screen avatar, your houses there, have a free fucking house. The game is just kind of so casual, just throws everything at you. I've got about 31 cars already. It's ridiculous. There's no real sense of progression like you had in Test Drive Unlimited, where you would start off in a little shack with a shitty car and you'd have to really work hard to level up and buy your next car, and it made you feel proud when you had that money, and it was special buying that next car in Test Drive. You would see somebody in a Ferrari and it'd be like, oh my goodness, look, he's got a Ferrari, it must have took him ages to get that. In this, everybody's got a Ferrari, everybody has a Bugatti Veyron, everybody has the best cars. It's just, there's no real sense of any kind of working your way to a goal. It's just money is easy to come by, and I don't like that in this game. I really don't. But the game is like I said, aimed at the younger audience, I think. It's a blast to play. It's really good fun. There's loads of events to play in it as well. It would be easy to thumb this down on the fact that it's got shit wheel support, zero immersion pretty much, and is aimed at children, but that would be unfair to the game because the game isn't saying that it's a sim game. The game isn't saying that it's an immersive game. The game is pretty much saying, hey look, do you know what? I'm aimed at the younger generation. It's just mindless blasting arcade fun. Well, it ticks all them boxes. It's got shit tons of content. It is good fun to play. So I'm going to thumb it up. It's definitely worth a buy.
Hey, Mr. President.